What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time. Today is a debut on the channel. This is a game called Terranigma, and it looks like it's from the SNES, according to this. We're going to be listening to two songs that were won from the random draw that I do. So at the end of this episode, there will also be another random draw. This is Light and Darkness from the channel Mr. Crocachoke. And then Mountains from 19 Imperial 88. These are both requested by Captain Koek. I've never heard of Terranigma, and I'm not going to look up anything at all until the songs are over. But SNES, cool. I still don't know what Terranigma means, but I've had to take a guess. It had something to do with Earth. And am I forgetting anything? I think it's it. Yeah, so congrats on winning the random draw, Captain Koek, and we'll see who wins at the end. We are starting off with Light and Darkness from this game. Are we ready? Cool. I immediately got like main theme feel. Maybe not. The closest soundtrack that comes to mind immediately is Chrono Trigger. That kind of SNES sound font, which I've heard so little of, but my basis to compare is always going to be Chrono Trigger. Has a little bit of a royalty feel. Perhaps a castle. I don't think it's the main theme anymore. It's moving too much. Oh, maybe the song is referring to, or maybe maybe the musical ideas are referring to the song title. Like this sounds like dark, and it's like bouncing back and forth. So maybe when the percussion comes in, it's sort of like a metaphor for light. A bit of a shot in the dark, but songs do have two identities to them. I don't think it's looped yet. Oh, I just noticed in the title it says number 2, so probably track 2. Ooh, if that's the case, then maybe a opening cinematic. There's so many ways it can go, you know. Maybe this is the part where the game is telling you with the lore. You gotta read it all or something. There wasn't voice acting in SNES, right? Pretty sure there wasn't. I feel like that wasn't a thing until like PlayStation era, late 90s. Oh, it's almost over. Let me just hear the beginning again, like the first like 30 seconds or so. Yeah, see, like... Like, that's a whole different feel. Like, here comes the king. And then it fast forward to the end. I don't think it looped, so it was like just, you know, a linear song. But that's quite interesting. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna look up anything until the end. Okay. The first thing that came to mind immediately was like a kind of royal thing. I did just make a video on castle themes not too long ago, so I still have that in my head. But even so, like my brain will sometimes still go to that because that's just a thing that a sound can provide to my imagery in my head. So immediately I got like, you know, the like knights kind of just welcoming someone, or I don't even know what the proper term is for like a king or prince or someone to just show up, red carpets out, and you know, probably a coronation, although I think that's like a very specific thing. Like I think that's getting the crown. But anyways, that's what I got at first. I was like, oh, okay, we're going into this feel. And initially I started thinking maybe Zelda like, but for most of the song, I couldn't really escape the sound of Chrono Trigger out of my head. Chrono Trigger, to my knowledge, I wish I knew this, but I want to say this is true. I think that might be the only SNES game I've ever played. I played it, where did I play it on? Did I play it on Steam? I played it on Steam. But, you know, like, it was from the SNES. As far as I know, that's the only SNES game I've ever played. And there's not many SNES songs I've heard in my life. But this put me immediately in that, like, it sounds almost identical. Like, maybe the same, maybe they're like a couple years apart, maybe the same year. And if I recall correctly, which probably not going to happen, I think Chrono Trigger was 95, around there, mid-90s. I know it was like it went on to PlayStation and a bunch of things. But either way, like the sound and the melodies really reminded me of Chrono Trigger. Or I guess I should say like Yasunori Mitsuda. But I doubt that since Chrono Trigger was his first gig. Unless this came later. I don't know. Can't wait to find out later. But that's what I kept getting towards. But at least sound font-wise, like it had a very, like almost identical sound to it. So if you were a fan of this, you might really like Chrono Trigger's music, and vice versa. Although Chrono Trigger music is a little more rhythmic and more bass and has some more groove in it, and rock. Although I have no idea how the rest of the soundtrack goes. We still have another one to go. But yeah, that was like the first impression, and then I started to hear these shifts in tonality. You know, it starts off kind of mysterious and creepy, and then it goes into this royal thing, and then it drops off again, and then it comes back. It was like ping-ponging back and forth. There was a lot of, again, with Chrono Trigger, there was a lot of like left and right channel swapping and cascading. And very dynamic. There was a lot of changes. I don't think it looped. And if it is indeed track 2, then maybe it pretty much is a main theme. Because for all I know, track numbers are pretty representative of like when they appear in the game. So if it's track 2, then that would be either main menu, start as soon as you click new game, etc., first stage, something like that. Very ominous title, but I'm gonna leave it blank so you guys can fill in the blank. Very cool, very cool. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting the mysterious yet light sounding of it at once. Two songs at once is what that felt like. It's pretty bizarre. And the second one, a little bit of a different Both of these say PAL version, by the way. I don't know if that changes anything. What does that say? Moby Games? I don't know. It says Moby Games. I don't know. I've never heard of Moby Games. Oh, don't want to look up anything. This one's about the same length. No track number on this one. This one's just called Mountains. If I had to take a guess, probably a stage theme. And probably outside. Let's go. Mountains from Terranigma. It's leaning more towards creepy. Hold on. Whoa. We have a straight groove. Was that an electric guitar trying to come in? This sounds less mountain-like and now more cave. I'm getting more inner mountain now. The bass following the main lead. Yo, there's a lot of percussive things happening in the zone. That digital reverb sound. That's awesome. Reverb is the sound effect of the sound of the room, but it's digital here, so it's just like making it sound like it's in a really big hall. Whoa, dude. Look at the game is suggesting to me. What are the odds? Ooh, you know what? That was cool. That's funny. That one was borderline kind of battle theme, but I was thinking more of like I keep thinking more setting. I'm thinking more setting, like 80% setting and like 20% battle. That's where I'm guessing. But to me, this I've only heard 2 songs, but it seems to be on the more mysterious and kind of intense side, perhaps. But when I hear songs like this, it sounds like something's creeping around the corner, some kind of dark area, which eventually leads my brain into like a cave sound. I immediately think of I haven't explored many caves in the games that I've played. A few, not too many, but the first one that comes to mind is probably the first one I ever played was Mount Moon. I think it's Mount Moon. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's the one right after the Pewter City Gym in Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it's Mount Moon. Well, whatever, that cave. Doesn't sound the same, but it just gives me that feeling of going from like a light-hearted town theme or something to entering a door and then, you know, boom, it's all darker. It just immediately sounds darker. But that could also be the whole tone of the game. But it is called Mountains, so there's a chance. At first, with the title, I was thinking, outside and then maybe mountains in the background. It's pretty vague, right? I don't know if they really had song titles back then. I mean, let me rephrase that. A lot of times, I think in this era of video games, a lot of song titles were just like the name of the stage in the sound file or something. But who knows? Honestly, who knows? But I think it's just more of I think there's a better chance of it just being tied to a stage or something that's going on in the game as opposed to like a song title. You know what I mean? So I can't really think too far away from mountains. It's like I'm pretty don't have a lot to work with there. It's not. I don't think it's a volcano or something. Maybe, but huh. Now I'm kind of debating if I want to look anything up at all. But it definitely has I can't think of many games that I've experienced that have this. I think the only two things that come to mind, one is a resounding Chrono Trigger, but the other one might be like Secret of Mana. I'm pretty sure that was SNES, and I'm pretty sure it also gave me that sort of same sound. I have probably heard less than 5 SNES games in my life. This being part of it, you know? It's such a small library that I've encountered. Nintendo in general, but especially SNES. And I don't even know which one I've heard less. Maybe the NES. I don't really know. But either way, the SNES for sure no, because I was like heavy. Well, not heavy, but I was already at my Sega Genesis phase here. And I was of the household where you can't have 2 consoles. No way, Good luck. Let's find out, like, maybe the release date and maybe a developer or something. But the name also, like I said, I don't know what Terranigma means, but Terra, I think of Earth. So, let's see. Some kind of maybe... Let's take a guess. Well, that's too vague. I was going to say like an Earth-inspired RPG, but that's kind of... That doesn't even make sense. Terranigma... here we go. I don't even remember all the things I said. 1995... Action role-playing game. Oh, okay. That's cool. Developed by Quintet? With manga artist Kamui Fujiwara acting as the character designer. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure they're probably a legend if they're mentioning him like that. The game tells the story of the Earth's resurrection by the hands of a boy named Ark and its progress from the evolution of life to the present day. The game is considered the third and final entry in an unofficial trilogy of action RPGs created by Quintet, also including Soul Blazer and Illusion of Gaia. Okay, so it's like a unofficial trilogy. Okay. I wonder if that has anything to do with these movies I always talk about, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for a few dollars more and a fistful of dollars, which are known as the Dollars Trilogy, but they're not a trilogy. I don't know what really qualifies something to be a trilogy. When I think of that, I think of consecutive story all 3 ways, or all the way through. Whereas those 3 movies you'll see the same actors and character. Well, you won't even see the same characters. They look the same, but they're all different. They're 3 different stories in like the same era. So I wonder if Soul Blazer and Illusion of Gaia and Terranigma share characters or anything, or if it's just a trilogy based on like who wrote the game, something like that. So let me know. Never heard of Quintet. Composer. There's 2 composers. Miyoku Takuoka and Masanori Hikichi. It's not ringing any bells. Published by Enix in Japan? And Nintendo and PAL. Enix. Is that who I think it is? I'm aware at some point there was Squaresoft. And then it became Square Enix. So is this me finding out? Was it like the Namco Bandai thing, where they just were 2 companies and they just I mean, it makes total sense, but I never really thought about it. I've never really just heard of Enix by itself, though. I've always heard of Square and Squaresoft. But let me know if there's something totally different. I'm looking at the Wikipedia. Okay, well, I mean, I pretty much got what I... So it's an action RPG. That's cool. Let me know if the other games, too, are action RPGs. That's a cool name. Soul Blazer? Damn. Illusion of Gaia. Wait, isn't Gaia also Earth? Wait, did I say Gaia? Hold on. Illusion of Gaia. Yeah, isn't Gaia also Earth? So, okay, so I'm guessing all these games have to do with the evolution of the planet. Something like that. Something really in touch with humankind. Terranigma, Soul Blazer, Gaia. Interesting. Well, the music is... I don't know. It's dark, it's mysterious, and it's cool. But to me, it's something that... This is a weird thing for me when it comes to SNES. SNES, specifically, is a console that millions of people, and maybe thousands that are watching this, have heard and grew up with. And for me, it's totally foreign. Yet, I know what it is. I don't know if you guys were the same as me when, at the same time, you either had one or the other console. You don't really have money to have two. You just had one or the other. Maybe you were lucky to have two. But it feels like the majority of people either had one or the other. And then they just kind of stuck with that. So whatever they started with, they just kept going, you know? So if you started with SNES, you probably wanted to get the Nintendo 64 and then the GameCube and all that stuff, you know? I just went Sega. I didn't get the Dreamcast, though. But I did go from, like, Genesis to PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, you know? But I did have a Game Boy Color, which was, what, like 4 years after this? But yeah, I never got the... I'm rambling, but yeah, I was just going to say I never got the Dreamcast. I think at that point in my life, what was that, 99, right? It was 99, 99. At that point in my life, I was just getting over like my first phase of video games. I wasn't always into them. I've had like 3 phases where I've like come back. And that was like the first time when at that age where I just was kind of out of it. Anyways, light and darkness and mountains. Well, they both sound great. You know, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of technical boundaries being pushed. It seems like it's a really impressive soundtrack for just 2 songs. Yeah. I mean, well, think of it this way. Again, Chrono Trigger. It's considered one of the best soundtracks of all time. By many people. I played that game because of the soundtrack. This sounds like Chrono Trigger. And I'm not trying, and it's not to compare. It's just what I have to compare with. So if I'm comparing it to a game that a lot of people consider the best soundtrack of all time, I would say it's a pretty good thing. But okay, so let me know more about Terranigma and the other games and what else you want to tell me. SNES, all that stuff. Thank you, Captain Koek. And to all the requesters, but we must move on to the next random spin. Right now, let's just get over it. I like how there's just so many entries that it doesn't even look like it's spinning. It just looks like a glitch. But yeah, these are all my requests right here. PayPal and Patreon. Dude, this is the second time there's like this weird connection. That's so weird. First one, I've only been doing this really recently. The first one, it was like a Persona song, and then I re-rolled another Persona song. This time it's crosscode Gaia's Garden. They're watching you. They're watching. Let me see who requested that. I never heard of... Wait, no, I think I have heard of Crosscode. I feel like I've done that game. Crosscode? If I have, I've only done it once. Let's see who... Is this a PayPal one? Yep. Okay, that is requested by Kiwi Style. Crosscode. Okay, well, I'll see you in that one. I don't think... Okay, whatever. We'll just get to that. Anyways. Awesome. Gaia everywhere. That was kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. They can tell my patrons is here. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Take it easy.